Hey! Woo! Hi, beloved. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Connection's a lot better now.
Wonderful.
How's it going?
Wonderful. I was giving everyone a brief introduction while we figure out what was going on with the internet. So I told them just a little bit about how we got together. But I just want to say that I love you, number one. I really
Oh,
love you. I really am excited for the divine soul that you've come here to be and that you express every day. And that's from my heart. I really love you. I was talking a little bit about what we're doing about Midday Masterminds, and I'm glad that you're here so you can introduce yourself. You can tell everybody who you are, what you're about, and all that good stuff. And can you hear me okay, or is it too noisy?
I can hear you. It's fine. We'll work with it.
Okay.
So, thanks for the introduction, and I love you as well. And hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Pierre, and yeah, I'm actually just working with my sister on this, and I consider myself a mastermind mindset healer. And what that means to me pretty much is I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. And if you guys follow astrology, I'm an Aries. So when it comes to people that are Aries, we're actually the firstborn in the signs of the zodiac. And ironically, it feels like spring. So this could not come at a more perfect timing. As well with when it comes down to being an Aries, we also rule the mind. So think about Aries, hot tempered, mindsets. So I'm actually working
Right.
within my path by doing what I love to do, which is just helping people heal their minds. So thank you for having me on this call. And that's just a brief introduction about myself. Now, I don't know how much did you get into it because I know we had that brief
Well,
thing
I didn't
going
give
on.
in
So did you
much.
talk about? Okay, cool.
You can share
So
your
you
version
didn't
because
talk
I
about like
just
how we got reconnected.
right. So so basically, I just shared sort of how we got together and not the details, of course, but just how we kind of reconnected. 15 years being kind of not really finding each other, not knowing where each other's at, but knowing each other's exist, and then coming together and being like, wow, like we really do the same thing. Like we really are passionate about the same thing. We really love people. We really care. We really want to help humanity. And so we thought, hey, together and tell our story and then talk about the mind.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I would say a few years ago we were planning, I don't know if you recall this, but like a family reunion. Like we created like this family group chat and it was supposed to be like this whole Pierre reunion. But ironically, we had an unexpected reunion. You know which one I'm
Right.
referring to, where we actually made a trip down to North Carolina. And that was actually
Right.
the reunion that we needed, not the one that we
Right.
planned. So
Right.
I think that actually catapulted where we are today and where we need to go to in the future. So I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah, and me too. And you guys know, I tell you, I have Jamaican and Haitian background. So Andrew is connecting
Also,
me on
I'm
the
drinking my
Haitian
Southside
side.
tea, so don't mind me. I'm
Oh,
drinking my
so
Southside tea.
so you guys know you can get your soursop for soul tribe, but soursop is also good for developing the divine masculine
Hmm.
mind, and for strength and protection. Soursop is a
Yeah.
good herb, like the Ogun energy, that which is the warrior. That's which has the machete and chop things up and cut things loose. Soursop
There you
has
go.
that. Bat, bat, bat.
Yeah.
Hey! So he's right on time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
I'm so excited. Yes.
no, thank you. Thank you for having me. So,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, would you like to get right into it? Or, like, I know that was our connection in terms of like how we got together.
Yeah.
And just to touch on that a little, like I was doing this work and now I'm fully into the work. And honestly, I didn't know the extent of what you were doing until we started having a conversation. And it was so
Mm-hmm.
crazy that I was just doing this work. I'm like, wow, I have a sister that's in a similar work. Why not actually get together? So it didn't click at that time, but now it makes more sense that we are working together to actually heal the minds of others and see what we could do.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you could actually save this life. So thank you.
Yes, Brandy. And Brandy
Yes.
Mo Andrews, one of our students at Caribbean Healing Herbalism 101. She's an awesome friend, awesome soul. And
Hi, Brandy.
I know she's excited to see us. Hey,
Yes, yes.
Brandy. Yeah, so let's get, if there's no other introduction or any other, let's get into the
Listen, you
juice.
know how I like to do. I like to get right into things. So let's
Yes,
get right
honey.
into it.
Yes,
All right.
let's get,
So welcome once again, guys. And this is the Master Mindset Midday Masterminds. And we just want to talk about how you can actually use the power of your mind to get what you want. I know you guys probably heard a lot about manifestation, doing this, doing that, but sometimes it's all about starting at ground zero and then working yourself up to being really a mastermind of your mind. Okay.
Yes.
So, and today I want to talk about how you actually, sometimes your mindset could deter you from getting the abundance and the blessings that you want for yourself.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And for example, how often, whether it's yourself or people that you know that says, you know what, this is just not for me, or
Mm.
it's not in the cards for me, or I'll think about it, but once again, it's not for me. Guess what you're doing? You're planting the seed in your mind that is contributing to a negative result.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, when we see people that are not in a good place, or they're struggling, or they're poor, those are the ones that are actually powerful manifestors. But unfortunately, they're manifesting the
Right.
bad. That's not
Right.
the good. So you need to think
Right.
about that. Like, yes, manifestation, we always talk about how the good things you could do, the good things you could do, but people don't really talk about the day-to-day things that you're doing that's deterring you, and the day-to-day things that is actually pushing you to manifest things that you don't want in your life.
Right.
So,
Can I
sis,
ask
what are
a
your thoughts on
question?
that? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So it sounds like there's like a spectrum, right? And there's like a
Mhm.
positive, negative. So there's like say good and bad. And so you're always able to move that barometer anywhere you want. So you're always manifesting. Everything's a
Yeah,
manifestation, right?
yeah,
But it sounds like you're
yeah.
saying, hey, take control of that needle and push it to where you want it to go. Like right now, you're manifesting whatever's in your life. You push your needle at one point to that energy frequency, right? But you're
Yes.
saying, hey, if you want good things, just take that same energy and just move it to where you want to go. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm hearing.
No, yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because think about it this way, the universe is always conspired to work in your favor. Okay,
Right.
so it's very, very simple. I believe in God. Whoever you believe in, whoever your higher power is, the universe is extremely simple. You feed it good food, it gives you good nutrition. You feed it
Mm-hmm.
bad food, it reaps those rewards. So
Right.
you need to understand that if you're using the same analogy about pushing that needle, where do you want to push that needle? That's what it boils down to.
Right.
If you want to push it
Wow.
toward the negative barometers of life, enjoy.
Right.
I like to stay
Right.
on this side, okay? I'm staying on the side that goes up, not down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm pushing my needle to where the money resides. I'm
Right.
pushing my needle to where prosperity resides. I'm pushing my
Right.
needle to where happiness and success reside. Because success
Right.
is what you make it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, to answer your question, absolutely. You want to push
Mm,
that needle to the
mm,
positive aspects of what you want to see. So that's definitely my first point is what are you feeding your mind? What are you saying to your mind? Are you the person that's saying, you know what? Once again, it's not for me. It's not in my cards. And let's take it a step further. Like sometimes in certain churches, they practice, oh, well, I'm just going to keep doing this until the pearly gates of heaven opens up. Well, guess what? Heaven could be on earth if you want it to be. Because God
right.
Himself within you does not want you to be poor, bro. So
No.
create that heaven on earth. So
Wow.
that's just my first take on how that can actually deter you from, what you want to see, or deter you from actually getting the abundance and blessings that you want, which is just how you speak
Okay, I have
initially.
a question for you. Because
Shoot.
not everybody has had the privilege or the opportunity to be around people, an opportunity to know how to think. And I know we have how we follow in this conversation, but you and I talking now, and the rest of us who are joining us now and in the live and watching it later, some of us don't know how to think or how to say good things. Like it don't make sense. It's like a foreign language you're talking. What advice would you give to somebody to, all right, I want to push the needle, but like, what you mean push the needle? Like, what's something practical? Like one thing, maybe a little exercise or something that they can do while we're talking about that.
Absolutely. So if you want to, let's go with certain words. If you
Okay.
are ending things with not, NOT, can't, won't,
Mm-hmm.
will not,
Yes.
those are simple verbiages that are actually contributing to a negative mindset.
Right.
So if you just start flipping things like I can, I will, it's for me, it will
Yes.
be mine, Those are just natural progressions that is pushing you in the right step towards what you want, even on the simplest terms. Like you could be
Awesome.
Miss Negative Nancy, and if you just start today by little things like that, to answer your question, that can help you push you in the right direction.
Hmm.
And that
Okay,
could start
so
making
my
you a baby
question,
manifest. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So what if I know it and I want to, and I'm saying it, but I'm not feeling it yet? Like, would you say that I should? How much time should I give myself? Like, if I'm just starting it, because I know a lot of people are just starting this journey. A lot of people are waking up, and we're talking like a whole nother language to a lot of people. Believe it or not, we're used to it, but a lot of
Hold
people,
that off
yes,
right now. Great question, but this is
yes,
why this is a series. So
it is
this
a
is this
series,
is this is the first step. So
right?
understand that you have great questions, and those are great questions for new beginners, but this is the first step, guys, you know. And this is
Good.
not for everyone. We know that, but if this resonates, if this is hitting, let it hit. Let it punch. You know what I'm saying? Let it
Yes,
punch. And this is just the very, very beginning. So one day at a time. So
yes,
to answer your question, one day at a time, while we go through our tips today, I think that will start building a foundation.
right. Okay, so you guys see and know that this is a series. So those of you who've
Yeah,
been asking questions, I said I would pose them, but as Andrew said, hey, we want you to do it in a series because why? Each week gives you an opportunity to practice what you've learned from this week. So we're doing
yeah,
fundamental steps. So all those who are asking questions, I asked your question, but we've answered because we're going to do it in a series. The reason why is we know that this takes time. The mind don't change overnight. It takes time to recondition your mind. So that's why we're doing this in baby steps that even a 5-year-old could follow along. Not because of the intelligence level, because of the simplicity of it and how easy it is to manifest what you want. Very simple. So that's why we're doing it this way.
perfect. So now let's move into our next one, and thank you for that. So the next tip or the next thing that I see that could actually deter you from seeing the abundance and success that you want, which is mindset related, is are you letting other people control your mind?
Oh,
Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
let's talk about it.
This could be controversial, but I don't give a rip.
Come on
How
with it, baby.
often have you heard people say, just be humble, humble yourself, humble yourself? So are you saying I can't say I look good? Are you saying I can say I can't feel good? Are you
Right,
saying that I can't say I'm wealthy? Think about it. So is there a fine line between being humble and self-love? But only you could determine that. Don't let anyone ever downplay your mind by saying you need to be humble. That's something
right.
you should feel, it's something that should resonate, but don't let anyone tell you to say that. And oftentimes I feel like that's told to our young boys and girls, and
Yes.
it's shown as a sign of affirmation. Oh, you're humble. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you truly are? Or is that just a phase? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
don't let other people determine what your mindset is. And this goes back to your
That's
initial
good.
question about is this something for day-to-day ones, someone that's just getting baby steps. That is a baby step,
Mm-hmm.
because people that are actually higher in their self-love and who they are, that no one could change their mind in that
Right.
regard. But this is just for people that are still trying to find their way. And little
Mm-hmm.
things like saying things like that could affect you. For example, not too long ago, I was actually working, in an office, which there's nothing wrong with that. Get your money how you can.
Get your money how you
Unfortunately,
can.
being in the office wasn't for me just because of how I'm wired. But I'll never forget in this negative environment, I turned to a coworker and she said verbatim, yeah, just keep your head down and just work through it. Just don't make
Oh,
a noise, keep your head down.
no.
And for someone that
Mm,
didn't know any better, they would do exactly that because they don't want to cause a riffraff. They want to keep their job. But
right.
I was like, keep my head down. You can see my nostrils. Like my head is up. Like
Right.
it will never be down.
Right.
Never. Like, and at that very moment, I just knew that my mindset was not in a place where anyone could dictate or control, and I knew I had to
Mm-hmm.
get out there, which is a whole nother story. By the
Right.
way, if you want, guys, check out my YouTube channel. It's The Power of You with Andrew. I have tons of videos on that. But getting back to what we're saying on topic at hand, don't let other people dictate your mind because that could actually affect it in a negative
Mm.
undertone. That could actually shift it in that going back to that
Yes.
needle, that could shift it into a direction that you don't
Yes.
want. based on other people's either fears, other people's
Mhm.
jealousies, other people's
Mhm.
insecurity.
Mhm.
So really ask your question. If people are asking you to be humble, what does that truly mean? Is it just a
Yeah.
saying? Is it coming from a place of jealousy? Is it coming from a place of
Yes.
misunderstanding? Is it coming from a
Yes.
place of lack of self-love? Because people that truly love themselves are naturally humble. So think about
Yes.
that.
Yes. Thank you. I'm so
No, you're welcome.
that's such a beautiful example of humble as we see it as a virtue. But do we really know what it is?
Yeah,
Humble could just be really being in your gifts and just walking around being in your light. You're not get your shine on, you just being who you are. And a lot of
you're
people
being
get
who
the
you are.
definition mixed up. You know,
Yeah,
you can be flashing, but if that's you, that's your humble. Like you doing
that's
your
your
thing and
humble.
you ain't bothering nobody. You living your best life. And I
Exactly.
love that you said because a lot of times we're projected onto by our parents, by our culture, what things should be. Oh, you shouldn't be that way, or we don't do this. We're Haitian. We Haitian Jamaican,
Yeah,
so we have ways. And when you step outside that box a little bit, some parents, people may feel a little, you know, feeling have some feelings around it. But it's your
yeah.
job to set your mindset. This is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. But we're going to get into those remedies later. But that's a perfect example of some hindrances I've seen of your mindset. It's just these definitions of being humble, who we should be instead of who we are.
Who we are. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so did you have any like questions about that initially before we move on to the next one?
I just thought it was a great, great point and a great word. That example was just perfect.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
And once again, guys, these are coming from life experiences. Like when I started doing this, I didn't even know what this really was. Like I just always knew I was slightly different and I was fine with that. And the older you get, the more you just kind of fine tune to who you are. And just
Mm-hmm.
as like if you guys even get into like natal charts, like for me, I'm actually a Virgo South Node, which means in my last past life, if you guys think about it, I was very controlling. I had to do this, I do that. But in this life, I'm actually a Pisces North Node. So that means that I was called to be more spiritual. I was called to be more of a leader in this aspect. I was called to work
Mm-hmm.
more in my path. So to be honest, this comes naturally to me. Like, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that I'm here to even share this with you guys because for a long time, I just kept it to myself because I was just in the rat race of trying to get out of where I was. Now that
Yeah.
I'm where I'm at, I'm like, you know what? I need to start sharing this. I need to start
Yes.
opening up. So bear with me, guys. This is actually very uncomfortable because I'm not used to opening it up. But hey, I'm here and I'm happy.
Yes.
So I'm glad
Yes.
I'm able to share this with you guys.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad too. And I'm thank you for the opportunity to open up. One thing I always say, like when you open up your heart, whatever you do for yourself, when you open up yourself, the universe responds to that. So as you open up your mind, your heart, and yourself to who you are and the possibilities, the universe says, "Hey, you're expanding over there. Let me come open up more possibilities to you because you're communicating always to the universe. And how
Yeah,
you feel about yourself, you're doing things allows the universe to offer you more of that. And so it's
of course.
exciting and it's all tied in. And we thank you again, Andrew, for being. I thank you for being here and sharing your story and with our team. Those who are really interested in knowing more, Miss Jessica Allen says thank you so much.
Oh, thank
She's
you.
glad to hear your story.
Hi, Jessica. We're glad to have you. Thank you for listening in, and we're reaching, everyone on this call could take something and, shift it and then reach someone else. It's all about reaching because we're all
Right.
just one collective energy. So when we're sharing that, we're raising that vibration. So everything
Mm.
that is going out in the world, we're fighting that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and that's a whole nother subject, but just
Yes.
one again, I'm just so thankful that we're reaching people and those people can reach other people. And that's just what it really boils down to. So once again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Thank. Thank you. I think I spelled it correctly. So yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Thank you.
so now let's move into the final thing. Well, not the final
Yeah.
thing, but at least in this series about how certain things or how you think can actually deter you from actually seeking the buns that you like or what you want to see for yourself. And that really boils down to seeing the good even in the bad.
Oh yes. Oh
So,
yes.
what lessons are you taking in your current situation that's going to propel you to receive the abundance that you want? And that all
Yes.
starts with this. And I have a
Yes.
quick story about what that really boils
Good.
down to because for me, I'm just heavy in career. So a lot of my trials and tribulations was based on career goals. Like like
Hmm.
how many times we spoke about, oh, this is not for me. I can't wait. When's my business gonna take off? When
Yes.
is this gonna happen? And Look, I'm sitting in my brand new luxury apartment, not to
Yeah.
brag, but it's telling you you can manifest anything you want. Like I started a new year in a new city, new luxury apartment,
Yes,
paying
that's true.
less than $1,000 a month because I
Okay.
manifested it. I wanted it and I made it happen. So going back to the bad, I remember sitting at this office
Mm,
job and this guy he's the boss. Whatever he used to just say horrible things to me, to other people, and you're the boss. And that came from a place of he saw a light in me he didn't have in himself.
right.
So when I say seeing the bad and the good, I took that as motivation. You know, when I used to go there and work, if it wasn't for my headset and my YouTube and listen to
Mm,
jazz or whatever, that made it through.
mm.
Like he could never penetrate my mind because
Right.
I knew, although this was quote unquote bad, it was preparing me for my next step up. It was
Yes.
preparing me for my next blessing. It was
Yes.
preparing me for my next wave of abundance. So whether you're in a tough spot financially, a tough spot health wise, in a tough spot mentally, you have to push forward.
Yes.
Not to give too much information, but I had a well, hopefully I still have, but who knows? A close friend, and they're going through something very, very private, health wise,
Yeah.
and that put a strain on our friendship. Because think about it,
Sure.
like when someone's going through what they have health wise, it puts a strain, and they got their own thing going on. But at the end of the same time, a friendship needs flourishing. So
Yes.
if you're pouring to someone else's cup and you're not getting that back, after a while, that becomes draining.
Right.
So my thing was, okay, that person is in a bad place according to them or however it's set up. How could they get out of that? How could they
Hmm.
find ways to move forward? Thank you, Reed. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you,
How could you find
Sharnita.
ways? How could you find ways to move forward in a bad situation? And
Right.
I always once again speak from a place of I've been there. And people go
Yes.
like, "Oh, Andrew, how could you say that?" I've been there. You know what I'm saying? But I've took that and I pushed myself forward.
Yes.
Oftentimes I'm labeled as the person, oh, that got his ish together. Can we curse? I don't know, but got his stuff together, but that's because behind the scenes I'm working. I'm making sure
Yes.
things are going well. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it all takes work. So going back
Hmm.
to this last step in this series of how to deter on the negative side of things, you want to make sure you're seeing the good, or you want to make sure
Mm.
you're finding the lesson in the
Yes.
bad, because the
Yes.
blessing is in the good. So
Yes.
take it with me, guys. Lesson in the bad, because the blessing is in the good.
And the good.
And that's it.
I love it. I love it. Oh
So,
man, that
question,
that
what you got?
that's
Any
awesome.
questions? What's going on? Thank you. Thank you. What
Thank
questions you have
you. Any
today?
questions, please drop them in the comments. And
Yeah.
you can see the comments when they pop up. And listen, if you love my brother, like how much as well, I don't know if you can love him as much as I do. But if you love him, go ahead and holler at him at bookthepowerofyou@gmail.com. And also find him on YouTube. It's the Power of You
Yes.
with Andrew. He's
Yes.
awesome. Well, he speaks for himself. I don't have to say much. And I
Oh,
love
thank
that.
you.
Because yes, I don't have to say much. His information is on the screen. We're going to be doing a series of this family because we
Well, we're
realize
not
that
done
learning.
yet. That's just the bad. We didn't talk about the good yet. So
Oh,
there was
yes, yes,
just
we're gonna get to the good.
oh,
Yes,
good,
we're gonna
good.
get to that. Yes, yes, we're gonna get that. But we are doing a series so everybody can get
Yes,
bite
Reed.
pieces
You
of
got
it
it.
and take a little bit. Yes, take a little bit day to day, and so you can incorporate into the life and with ease and comfort. Because we're learning now with
Yes.
ease and comfort, so we're doing a little at a time. So we're gonna be doing
Yeah.
this, y'all, every Wednesday for 5 weeks. Each week is gonna be something different. You can send us your questions to our
Yes.
sister Yaya. It's in the description of this video, and I'll also leave it our sister Yaya at gmail.com. Send us your questions there. We will answer them. Don't matter what it
Or
is. You
advice.
want to,
We're here
yes,
for advice too. If you want any advice or
yes,
anything like that, we're here.
advice, yes. You can be anonymous if you choose, or you want to leave your name. No problem. We will get to your questions because this is what it's about. Andrew already said it. Raising the vibration.
Yeah.
Raising it. And the only way we're going to do it, like Charlita said, with ease, love, and grace, right?
Yes.
So
Peace,
we
love,
take
and
our
grace.
time with this thing and we do it in a loving environment. And so thank you all for being here. I'm so excited. Well, we're going to get into the next segment of this. If no,
Yes.
anyone has any
This is
questions
my
for,
favorite. This is my favorite because yes, I like to talk about the positive side. That's why I want to get all
yes,
the negative things. So now we could talk
Yes.
about now the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now let's
Yes.
really talk about how you can actually use your mind to actually positively impact and actually get the abundance that you want. And on the most basic level, guys. And the first one is be honest. And what do I mean by that is where you truly in your life. If you know you're a negative Nancy, if you know you're a negative self-talker, if you know you're a procrastinator, if you know you are effing up in life, but you know what, self, I'm an F up right now. Self, you know what, I'm really procrastinating. Self, I'm truly not happy where I'm at, and I know that. Self, I'm not accountable, and I know
Oh,
that.
that's a big
Self,
one.
I actually need
Yes.
to fix it. Yeah, accountability is a big one.
Yes.
So yeah, just really take the time to be honest, because once you're honest, that's honestly the foundation. Because when you're being honest, you're actually relinquishing control of what's holding
Mm.
you back from your abundance, and now you're going to start building up the framework of what you need to actually start receiving.
Mm.
Okay. So this is just day one. Understand it doesn't happen overnight. Understand
Yes.
sometimes it can, which is amazing.
Sometimes.
But yeah, sometimes it can. And once you actually grow within your path, you start to identify the smaller
Right.
blessings to the bigger achievement. Never forget that, guys.
Right.
Understand there are going to be small blessings. So you ask for money, guess what? You just went to the store and you came
Right.
across $2 on the ground.
Right.
It's a start. Is it going to pay your rent today? No, but you have to understand it's a start.
Right.
Guess
And,
what?
and
You went to the gas. You went to the gas station, and the person in front of you, he paid for your gas. It's a start. It's a
right.
start.
Yes. And energy is the momentum too. So
Yeah,
momentum, it gradually over time with practice, repetition produces something in this realm. So I always tell my clients, when we get our mind and our spirit, we work in that realm. You're not going to physically see it yet, but just know it's already
yeah,
done. You set your mind, so the mind is what on this realm builds up the momentum to bring it to you. Like Andrew said, you may find some money in the ground at the gas station. Then you may go to the grocery and somebody might pay for your bill. You might find a coupon, whatever. But you're seeing these things happen. That's showing that you're changing your frequency and you've tilted your needle to the direction to which you already wanted. So all that's telling you is keep going. You're doing good. You're on the right path. And there might be a break in time where you might think nothing is happening, but like Andrew said, those are the times when things are happening. Don't you have to still see the good even in those times. So that's very important. I'm glad you said that. One of the
yeah,
things you said that I really like was being about freedom and kind of looking at things and being honest. And when I think of honest, I think of freedom. Because once you look at something objectively for what it is without judgment, what power does it hold on you? It can't weigh down your mind. Okay, if I'm saying, okay, I'm honest, I have a drinking problem. Okay, I've said it, I've released it. Now I release these hands, and now they can receive because closed hands can't receive. When we're not honest, we hold on to things, right? They're inside, they're
yeah,
secret. We're,
yeah,
we're controlling, right? But then when you get to a point when you fix your mindset, and you surrender, you're honest with yourself. You gotta tell the world on Facebook, honest with yourself. You open up your hand. That does two things. One, it allows you to get rid of the shit you don't want. But two, it allows you to receive what you do
what you
want.
want.
So that's very
Yes,
important. Yes.
yeah. And that segues me to the next point, which is gratitude and being
Oh gosh,
grateful
yes.
to what you actually are receiving. For example, like on my journey to being self-employed and on my journey to being independent, I was just grateful for like the trips along the way, whether that was getting my first client, whether that
Mm-hmm.
was getting my first couple sales, whether that was actually maintaining a relationship, whether that was actually paying my first month's rent, fully independent
Yes.
from
Yes.
a W-2 job, whether that
Yes.
was actually, buying back my time, where now,
Mm.
where, look at this, it's freaking well, here's center time. It's 3:35, but if you're Eastern, it's 4:35. I'll be in the office somewhere, which is once again not a bad thing if that's your case. But look at the time. I'm able to watch the sunset because now I'm
Yes.
actually buying back my time. So I'm
Yes.
extremely grateful. And when you're grateful for the present, that
Yes.
opens up the abundance for the future. So
Yes.
once again, if you're grateful for the present, that opens up the abundance for the future. So
Oh, I
understand
love
you
it.
need to see gratitude in every single step.
Yes.
Once again, you're at that gas station, you see $2, of course it's unaccounted for. Be grateful. That $2 can add to your rent. It can add to your groceries. It can add to your
Yes.
childcare. It can add to your
Yes.
dental plan. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So be grateful because those are little tricks. Because the universe
Yes.
is also a trickster. They're testing you to see where does your gratitude lie. Because when you're
Yes.
getting the 2 million, what are you going to do with that? When you
Right.
get into 2 billion, what are you going to do with that?
Yes.
So understand, treat everything as a blessing. Like right
Yes.
now, we're reaching a smaller audience. I see this as millions because
Yes.
eventually we're going to have a poll to help a community of millions of people. And that's what it boils down to because you need to be grateful for your present in order to receive the blessings of the future.
Hey, yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. And look, we have Tamara Hunter
Thank
on the
you,
line. He's
Hunter.
all the way from Jamaica. He's coming from Jamaica. He's tuning in.
Oh, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, we're all over the world. And I love the gratitude. And I was meditating on gratitude last night in the shower because I do a lot of meditations in the shower or whatever I'm doing. I call them living meditations. Sometimes you don't have
Yeah,
time to sit
warm, the
down
water
and
meditation. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes you don't have time to sit down and do your quiet. Sometimes you got to be washing dishes, meditating, and you got to be changing the baby, you got to be driving. So I call these living meditations. You do it however you can. I was thinking about gratitude, and sometimes in my mind, if I think about gratitude and what it does for me, and I think about it like gratitude is a love language for me. I don't want to make it like I'm gratitude so I can get something. I'm trying to get out of that mindset because again, I'm working on my mindset. I'm not trying to give to get necessarily. I'm trying to raise a vibration so I can be, right? And then being, it attracts everything to me. But it does require a mindset. So people say, oh, I'm going to be grateful, grateful so I can get these blessings from the ancestors. I can get, that's not the mode you want to start on. That's not the type we're talking about. We're talking about a gratitude that you develop over time using your mindset that becomes part of who you are. You become part of things. You're always grateful. So everywhere you go, you're a meditation and you're drawing it into you. But it calls for training of the mind, and that's what we're talking about today. And I love the concept of gratitude because that is the quickest way to get out of fear, quickest way to get out of anxiety, or the A word. We're going to say the A word because we're going to talk about that. Quickest way
Yeah,
to get
we'll
out of
talk about
depression.
that
We call it the
too.
D word. We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, we'll
It
talk
is
about that too.
helping. Yes, no matter where you are, if you feel it, if you get into gratitude, instantly it will raise your vibration. Oh, I thank you
Yeah,
for, and I go something simple. I thank you for my eyes. Thank you for my ears. Can you imagine not having the use of these things? Immediately it pulls your attention to who you are and what you have. Immediately it takes this brain and all that negative thinking that's been doing, it stops it. It says, oh, not today, not
not
today.
today.
I don't know where we're gonna go, but we ain't going with you today. And so it helps
Yeah,
your mind to deter. And so now we're not going down that path. You're not vibrating that anymore. You can start to vibrate something else. So gratitude is essential, family. It is so essential.
essential. Yes. You know, it's nothing to spell out the THANK you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
be thankful. Thank me. Thank you. Thank them.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Understand that. Thankful for the ancestors. Thankful for everything. Like there's not a
Yes.
day I don't actually go out throughout the day where I'm thanking my ancestors. I'm thanking God. I'm thanking the love
All the
within
time.
myself. Just
Hmm.
because you could be anywhere in this world, but you have to understand you're one being. But for every one being, there's X amount of spiritual beings that are fighting to protect you, that are fighting to bring you wealth,
Yes.
that are working
Yes.
overtime. So you have to understand that you're thankful. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand
Yes.
that you're grateful. And you also have to understand that you're chosen. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. But it
Yes.
still goes within the mindset of
Yes.
just be grateful.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely all comes down to your mind. You definitely have it down pat, Hunter. It all boils down to your mind. And once
Everything.
again, this is why we have the midday master mindsets, is because you could control everything, your health, your wealth, successes, just by using this. And that's
Yeah.
why they trying to no, that's all in the conversation. But
Oh,
anyway,
well, yes, but y'all, those who know.
yeah, they always want to harvest the goods. So that's
Yes.
what I'm gonna say. But anyway,
Yes.
so in my last point today, which is my favorite, I guess I find enjoying this because if once again going back to the zodiacs, I don't know if you guys are, but I am a zodiac and astrology freak. So I'm an Aries sun, Aries moon, and Leo rising. So that's a lot of fire, which I love. So what that means in my last tip today is let them go. I have no problem dropping people that don't serve my soul because that mindset is not what you need. Whether it's a family, cousin, mother, sister, brother, uncle, cousin, like you, I love you, sis. But if you was to go down the other path, this life will end and I'm gone.
I'm
You know what I'm
serious.
saying?
No, that's
And you're the same
respect, and
way.
I respect
Yes,
that,
yes,
and I'm the same way. Until it
yes,
change,
we are.
okay, well, is what it is. I love you, but yes, yes, it must be because you love
Yes,
you first. You
you
got
love
to
you
love you
first. That
first.
is the first love
Yes.
that you need to understand. And sometimes people try to deter you from that because your self-love is a direct, like if you're talking about self-love, think about the self-love as the express train direct to the brain, which goes to your mindset. The more you love yourself, the more your mind operates in a way to protect yourself, get more abundance, and be more healthy. If you love yourself, you're not thinking about anything that's going to deter your peace. So
No.
going back to letting them go, oftentimes we've been in places where you're like, damn, I've been in just a relationship, or damn, I know this person for X amount of years. And we grew up together. People change, and that's fine.
Yes.
But if it's
Yes.
deterring your mindset from what you need to reach, you need to cut that off. And for example, if you need tips, me, I don't have tips. I just cut it off. And if you ask, then I'm like, this is why. I have no problem. Like that's the fire energy I give when I need to give it.
Right.
But if you're not as direct, sometimes it's just as little as start slowly weeding those people out of your life,
Yes.
whether that's slowly unfollowing, unblocking, not answering phone calls, not frequenting the same places that these people
Right.
frequent, not entertaining the certain conversations that these people offer. Just by detaching yourself from those negative entities, that
Hmm.
gives you at least 10 to 20 points more to actually work. Going back to that news segment, going back to where you need to go in life.
Yes.
So letting go, purging, guys, that is a natural way of going into the path and into the light that you want to see, if that makes
Right.
sense.
I love it. I love, and that is actually part of. It's an essential step that people have to be aware of. That as you change your mindset, you're raising your vibration. Guess what? Everything around you changes. You say you
Yeah,
want just one thing, more money. Let's say money, more money. Okay, you change your mindset. Just so you know, when you change, because you're so powerful, everything around you change. So your coworkers deal with you different. Your kids, your spouse. And sometimes you have to look at relationships and see which ones are worth keeping, which one are worth letting go. When to hold them and when to fold them. So I tell people, as you start to change, as you start to change your mind, be prepared to make some relationship changes as well. Be prepared to
yeah.
have conversations about relationships you may want to keep and try to transform as you grow, or some that are a little bit more difficult you may have to let go of.
And understand, guys, that the way the universe works and the way that God works is when you let things go, guess what? You're opening room for more things that are for
Oh,
you.
yes.
So you're
Yes.
letting go, but you're also going to be gaining. Like right now, look at all these people that are on here. Like that's gaining a community. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So don't ever think as letting go as a bad thing, guys, because you're letting go to open and to receive. So let go
Yes.
to get more. Let go to get more. Let go to
Yes.
get more. Like you said,
Yes.
let go to get
Like that.
more.
Get more.
So don't ever feel like you need to be tied to a person, a situation, a being. Like once again, I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. I moved to New Jersey. I didn't know anyone in New Jersey. Now I live in Chicago. I don't know anyone here, but I'm meeting people. Like that's how I see
Yeah.
things. Like never be afraid to leave where you are to receive what you want. Never be afraid to
Yes.
leave a relationship to get what you want. Never be afraid to
Yes.
leave a friendship, whatever, to actually get what's for you. So
Yes.
that is one of my favorite things to do is to let go. Because when I let
Yes.
go, I receive, and that's just what it boils down to.
Yes. And guys, I'm going to say this too. What we're talking about takes courage, right? This is not for like anybody, okay, I want to be better. I'm going to do. No, this takes courage. So those who are changing their minds and doing the work, I want to congratulate you because it's not easy to go against who you used to be. Yes. It's not easy to turn your back on maybe cultural traditions, relationships, parent relationships, brother sister relationships for yourself. It's not easy these days to choose yourself, especially these times of a lot of changes. It's kind of a decision which way we're going to be on, but it's not still not easy to do this thing. So I want to congratulate each of you who are listening now on this live, who will be listening later, on just being here. Just like Andrew said, just tuning into this live, you're tuning into this frequency of change. You're tuning into it's already changing. Just listen to the words. Again, we're programming, right? We're always programming. We'll talk about that later. So I
Yeah,
want to thank you for your courage and thank you for being here. Thank you for your willingness to connect. to live your best
Yeah.
life. And congratulations. That's a wonderful thing that shouldn't be underestimated.
And listen, guys, I used to listen to like lives like this and other forms of topics when I
Mm-hmm.
was at a place I was not happy at that job. Like it used to be right in my
Yes.
ear, and I just had the headset. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that's
Yep.
cool. So
Yep.
I definitely was in a place where these sort of conversations helped me, and I'm so once
Yes.
again grateful I'm actually part of contributing to these kind of conversations, because once again, whether it's you guys is on this live, which once again I'm grateful for, or whether it's you guys that are watching this back, or the millions that are going to watch this in the future, it is definitely coming from a place of gratefulness and gratitude. And sometimes you just need to hear from someone that's outside of your family, outside of your friends, or someone that
Yes.
you don't even know, to make it resonate. And once again, we hit on some very important things today, which is certain things that are going to deter you to not get what you want, and things that are actually going to help you get what you want. So take what resonates. It all should
Mm-hmm.
hit on different angles. It should all hit some way. And know that you have the power to change your mindset. And this is why we have this series, because although it's simple, it's also complex. Because, like my sister
Yes.
said, you have to throw the first stone, which is being courageous. You have to throw the first stone, which is being brave. You have to throw the first stone, which is being uncomfortable. Because when you're
Yes.
uncomfortable, things get better.
Yes. That's where growth happens. Yes.
Yes.
And normally at the point when you feel like you can't take no more, it's usually right after that is the breakthrough. I mean, that's been my
Yeah.
experience. And you're like, oh my gosh. And it's like the next day or the next moment, it's like, oh, it's just hanging in there. It's just staying in
Yeah.
there and being committed to loving yourself. This is all about loving yourself. This is just a part of
Yes.
self-love. And this is one aspect of it, a very important one. But one aspect of self-love. Look, family, if you love my brother Andrew Pierre as I love him, please go ahead and over to YouTube. Find him of the power of you. Excuse me, power of you with Andrew, not the power of you with Andrew. He has more inspirational videos there. If you want to book a consultation with him, he's amazing. The Gmail is right there. Book the power of you at gmail.com. He's amazing. He's transformed. I've been able to witness his transformation. I've been able to see it. And y'all know I only bring y'all the best. I'll only bring y'all the best. And he is one of them. Not because he's my blood brother, because he really does the work and I see it. And so I'm so grateful that he's offered his energy and his time with us today. We're going to be doing this every week. So if you have any questions about mindsets, any challenges you may have personally, please, please, please email us. Our Sister Yaya, just how it sounds. Our SISTAH Yaya, YAYA at gmail.com. Send us your questions. You can remain anonymous if you want or not, doesn't matter. And we will get to the meat and potato. Well, I don't eat meat, but we'll get to the nitty gritty of it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
get those questions
And
answered for you so you can be well.
yes, and just a little teaser for our next actual session. We talked a little more about today what once again is going to deter you from getting what you want and what could get you want. Next one, we're going to talk about how to start implementing
Oh,
to get what you want. So
I like
using
that
your
part.
mind to get what you want. So you guys
Yes.
want to make sure that you stay in tune, and
Stay
we're
tuned.
just going to give you those tools that you really need to actually take on and add to what you have. Because once
Right.
again, if you're on this call, you probably are already manifesting what you want. You just want to manifest at a greater scale, and hopefully, now hopefully, you are going to manifest in the greater good, not the greater evil. So,
That's right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, once
So
again,
y'all,
thanks for having me, and I'm
yeah,
just so grateful. I'm happy to be on here. You guys could check me out once again on YouTube. You guys can actually book if you want more information on the consultation or advice, and we just look forward to more. And thanks for the heart,
yes.
Hamilton. Thank you.
Yes, that is Dr. Torsha. She's a great friend, supporter of ours at Soul Tribe. She's an amazing naturopath doctor, so I'm glad she
Oh
stopped by.
yeah,
Hey,
honor.
see my
Thank
brother
you.
Andrew. He's so wonderful. We're just talking about mastering our minds. So
Yeah.
welcome. So yeah, family, if you don't have any questions in the comments, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for the connection because we're all
Yeah.
connected,
Thank you for
truly.
the connection. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. And so this video will be posted on our YouTube pages. You're going to get that. And it's also going to be on our actual pages ourselves. So you'll be able to go back, take notes, write down your questions, send it to us all until next week. Okay, so you'll have access to these videos until whenever. So
Yeah.
I
All
want to
right. All
say,
right.
oh,
So,
you got to,
Oh, hey, what's going on?
Yes. You were saying something, Andrew?
No, I'm saying, yeah, at the end of the day, once again, thanks for the energy. While the sun is setting, I know that we actually contribute to a great call and we're connecting. So I feel good, wrapping up this day knowing that we're touching people. So once again, thank you all for
Yes.
attending. Thank you all that will be watching in the future. And thank you for the millions that will be seeing this in the future as well. So we definitely, we're just here to help and we're in the service business of helping everyone. So glad to be a part.
Yes. And on that note, I love you. I love you. I love you all. I love you, Andrew. I'll see you guys next time. Be well, family.
All
Peace.
right, tú te ves. Bye bye.
Bye.